by him, so I'll read my translation. ಮಾತೊಂದು ಶಾಪ. ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಘೋಷಿತ ಕವಿ, ಮಾತಾಡೋ. ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಿರೋ ಬೇತಾಳಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿನಗೆ. ನೊಳೆಯ ಹೊತ್ತು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಧರ್ಮದ ವಿಷ ಜಗತ್ತಿನುದ್ದಗಳ ಹಂಪಿದೆ. ಬೀದಿ ಬೀದಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಧರ್ಮ ಪುರುಷರು ಕಾದು ಕೂತುವರೆ ಹೊಂಚು ಹಾಕುತ್ತಾ ನಮಗಾಗಿ ಕಡೆ ಪಕ್ಷ ನಾವು ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹದ್ದು ಬಸ್ತಿಗೆ ತರೋಣ ಅವರನ್ನು. ಈ ಕತ್ತಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಡುಕದ ಹೊರತು ಏನಿರದ ತರ ಆಗಲಿ. ಕವಿತೆಯ ಕೆಲಸ ದಾರಿ ತೋರಿಸುವುದು ಒಗಟಿನ ಮೂಲಕ, ಅಥವಾ ಗೋವಂತ ಕಥೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಕೈದಾದ ಕಣ್ಣುಗೆಟ್ಟೆಣ್ಣಗಳಿಗೆ. ಏನು ಮಾಡುವುದು? ಹಿಡಿದರೂ ಕೇಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರೋ, ಎಡೆಬಿಡದೆ ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತದೆ ಇರೋ, ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಕಿವುಡ ಕುರುಡ ಅಮುಖರ ಜೊತೆ ಅವರ ಕಟ್ಟುಗಳು ಕಳಿಸಿ ಬಿಡುವವರೆಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಒಂದು ಸದಾ ನಾನಾಡಿದ್ದು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ. ಏನೇ ಇರಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹೊರತು ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರುವರು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರವರೇ? ನಿಜದ ಹೊಗೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಇರೋದು. ಕಿವುಡರಿಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಬರಲಿ, ಕುರುಡರಿಗೆ ಕಿವಿ ಬರಲಿ, ಮೂಕರು ಶ್ರೀನಲು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಅವರ ಹೊಕ್ಕಳ ಬಳ್ಳಿಯಾಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನೊಳಗಿನ ಕಚಡ ಖಾಲಿಯಾಗಲಿ. ಕುರುಡರಿಗೆ ತಿರುಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುವವರೆಗೆ, ಕಿವುಡರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟ ಕೇಳಿಸುವವರೆಗೆ, ಮೂಕ ಬೊಂಬಡಿ ಹೊಡೆಯುವವರೆಗೆ ಕವಿಯ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಕವಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕೆಂಬ ಶಾಪ.
Perhaps this Hemant's first entry into Kannada. So, welcome Hemant. And in the middle of so many poets, I'll read the Kannada translation of his poem, Poet's Death. ಕವಿಯ ಮರಣ. ಕವನಗಳಿಗೆ ಸದ್ಯ ಭಾಷೆಯ ಮರಣದ ವಾಸನೆ ಬರತೊಡಗಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಕವನಗಳಿಗೆ ಎಂದಿಗೂ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಮರಣದ ವಾಸನೆ. ಸತ್ತ ಮೇಲೂ ಕವನ ತರುತ್ತಲಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಯಾರದಾದರೂ ಆಯುಷ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿರಿತಲು. ಕವನ ಓದುತ್ತಾ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಸಾವು ಬಂದದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಓ ಕಾವ್ಯದ ಈಶ್ವರನೇ, ನನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಕ್ಕಲಿ ಗುಂಡು. ಕವನ ಓದುತ್ತಲಿರುವಾಗ ನಾನೊಬ್ಬನೇ ಸಾಯುವಂತೆ. ಬಾಂಬು ಸ್ಫೋಟವಾಗಲಿ ನಾನು ಕವನ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತಲಿರುವಾಗ. ಇಂತಹ ಸುಖದ ಮರಣವೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕೀತು ಯಾರಿಗೇ ಆಗಲಿ. ಕವನ ಓದುತ್ತಲಿರುವಾಗಲೇ ಕೊನೆಯಾಗಲಿ ನನ್ನೆದುರಿನ ಕತ್ತಲು ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಳಕು. Strangely, Hemant, there was not a poet but a scholar in Kannada who died for an attack when he was speaking on his famous, favorite novelist, Desh Lawrence, a scholar called Polanki Ramurthy. It happened in this case, literally.
Clear what it means to moderate. So, maybe I will introduce the next poet. It requires probably no introduction. Kamlakar Bhatt is a very important translator and an award-winning Kannada poet who teaches at Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. So, with this short introduction, I invite Kamlakar to read his poems.
Thank you, Sachin. Before I begin reading my poem, a quick word of gratitude to the Poetry Wala facilitators for the work that they have been doing for the last 20 years, but also for the gathering that they have facilitated here, and to all the poets who have come from different parts of the world, different parts of India and Mumbai. I'll read two of my poems. The first one is titled, A Light Bee on a Hot Day. Darting across the room, filled with sharp daylight and dense memories, a bee spoke to me. His fingers were aimlessly tracing patterns on his potbelly as he sat on the balcony of his 10th floor apartment. He was stung by a thin voice saying, hello. He knows that just around the corner, there are those who will readily poison a pregnant woman, those who will kill with their bare hands, sweet-tongued saints discoursing on non-violence. Yet he also knows of those that act like a cool breeze, even to strangers, or like the blade of grass that springs up even in gutters. And now, this bee was addressing him. He knows about Mount Everest or about the ocean of endless beaches. He has even seen in the parks where he goes for morning walks a tree that is hundreds of feet tall. Yet, stunned he was when the bee, with its puny flutters, asked about his health. The second poem that I present to you is titled A Sufi in the City. In this unholy malevolent city, in my drunken stupor, I have explored all nooks and crannies. Metal bodies are on parade along the ever-expanding circles, irradiating frenzied visions. At the center is a tower of post-truth. It has no foundation, no roof above. It has no door. It has no stairs. None of the roads leading to it have exits. An ethereal bell rings time and time again. I, a sinful soul, and drunk and unsteady, float inside that tower. Its gatekeepers wave my death certificate in my eyes. Its terrifying glare drives me away. I lie all shaken on the banks of a small stream in the city's periphery. The sands there are weeping. The rocks there are weeping. The trees, the rain, and the wind are weeping. Every mansion of the city has left its shadow there. Pain is embedded in the layers of divine dreams. This crazy weariness, this boundless delusion turn my tongue inert. Once again, with an ektara in my hand, drunken and impure, I am off to that scary metallic forest with another bag full of orphan shadows to search for their bodies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kamlakar, for those fine poems. We now move over to Dulce Chiang, who has already been introduced, and so I invite her to read her poems. Dulce.
Allegory of the Sphincters. Innocence lost in one fell swoop. Tell the wind that I'm gone, 'cause I'm leaving. 'Cause I am the sad girl, I'm the falling at an April night. My dilated sphincters cry out for freedom. They unroll and tighten. They engage in a dance that receives impacts. By pushing, they learn about the outside. Severe bruises teach them freedom, opening and splitting extensive cramps. I am the opened thing, the one who says nothing, knowing how to carry it, my clenched hands sharpened with screams. The parts are born from the wall, distended, the muscle bursts, the flower breathes strangle, of petals moist penetrated, it starts at the circumference. Innocence lost and spilled from itself, tell everyone that I'm gone. That the sphincters take me redeemed and the martyr, because I'm leaving. I am the one who consoles. I need the greater damage, the deeper my love. My profound lips search for dirty fingers and garbage stored in the flesh. Already in a sustained way, the palpitations come astonished and the rhythmic. They shake the ground that I see in front. the tones and textures of the world's crowd together, and they eat the sounds of him who violently believes he seduces me while he giggles. And the second one is going to be, well, the Enamored Succubee. The succubees are in love, and beloved, they howl among the jaws of hell. Burned by internal embers, the demonses kiss in silence. They caress their worn nipples. They palpitate themselves direct, needed, and invincible. Never has heaven seen that much love. They growl, vibrant, twisted, loving and vile succubees. They pull apart their horrendous glutes and their sharp, fanged lips, fit into the living flesh in a frightful, unbridled kiss. The tongue and trails of the abyss, boy, sulphurous, moist with love, cancer verb moans in billowing, the very villain's sex explodes. They laugh joyfully, loving, bloodthirsty, eating away demonses with dark eye shines and genital squirks. They hurtle their unclean tongues, crying, erect, sucked and loving. Enraptured faces of monstrous grimaces, they are mutilated angels, those demonses, who entangle their souls in an endless sin. One would say that it was the paradise collapsed in flames, but never has heaven seen so much love. Well, I have a couple of books that talk about inebriation, and I decided to write about this theme because it has been forbidden, and I really like to make forbidden things. I don't know why. So this little book that I'll give away, because I don't have a card, so I just, whoever wants to get in touch, I give this away and I put my data here. My name is Dulce Chiang, so I have some Chinese inheritance, and this poem puts me in touch with that. Jiu is the Chinese wine. Take Tao Yuan Ming, Pu Tao Yu, and know yourself to be Lord of the Five Willows. Guan Yu, libate, libo, the moon and your shadow, back offshoots that the Milky Way hesitating round and round and round and round links. Joyful genius, at the divine haze of a sweet dew, his brain succumbs. Su Dong Po, his Bai Yu drinks. The path of drunkenness has no meaning if it does not lead to freedom. And finally, I made this because I started studying this modern 60s ways of writing poetry, and I found out mainly from the U.S. And I found Fluxus and that kind of writing, and I found out that instruction was for me interesting way of making literature, and I tried to make it. Since I already did Elixirs of Inebriation, I made this book that it's about cocktails, but the universe prepared as a cocktail. So it's only in Spanish, but I have a couple of points here in English. I'm gonna share one. Have you ever drink a Cosmopolitan? Cosmos, Okay. Cosmopolitan. 45 milliliters of vodka, 30 milliliters triple sec, 30 milliliters of cranberry juice, 30 milliliters lime juice, 1 slice of lime decoration. Inside a shaker, beat the darkness with luminous ice cubes and see that this is good. Also, pour into this jar the juicy waters of the vodka and the arid waters of the triple sec. and see that this is good. Add the juice of the cranberry and the sweet gold of the lemon tree fruits and see that this is good. Pour the mixture into a martini glass and garnish with a slice of lime vast as a lantern and see this is good. Then rest. Drink your cocktail. Think that maybe it is not good for you to enjoy it alone.
In very playful poems. The next poet that I invite is Christos Kaukes, who was born in 1979. He is widely anthologized and he is director of several poetry festivals like Crete International Poetry Festival, Ceres International Poetry Festival. His poems have been translated in several languages and he lives and works in Athens. Christos.
Thank you very much. I want to thank personally Burdi and Heman for the invitation and the beautiful festival they have, and of course the 20 years of Poetry. Well, I'm lucky to be published, and yes, I'm not good in microphones. I prefer that. And thank you very much for everything that you have done for poetry and me and my poetry personally. Thank you very much. I'm going to read you in English today.
One in Greek.
In Greek?
Greek.
I need my phone. I have my book upstairs.
Greek.
I'm getting old people, sorry for the glasses.
This poem is called In Late. Αργά. Νυχτώνει πλέον αργά. Το φως κρατάει σφιχτά τις βασικές του ιδιότητες, μάρτυρας και μαρτύριο της ζωής. Εδώ και ώρες έχω επιστρέψει σπίτι. Πότε ψευτοδιαβάζω, πότε ψευτογράφω, πότε ασχολούμαι αναγκαία με τα καθημερινά. Πάντως καθόλου δεν μιλώ. Κανείς δεν υπάρχει εδώ μέσα να ανταλλάξω λίγες κουβέντες της προκοπής. Όποιος δεν ζει το χρόνο, καταντάει αθώος. Το φως λιγοστεύει, ακολούθως κι εγώ ανοίγω πετίους φακέλους, αρχαία κρατημένα, χρόνια κλειστά, υποθέσεις χρόνων που δεν λένε να τελεσυνδικήσουν. Γράμματα και σημειώσεις, φωτογραφίες και ενθύμια, έρωτες και φιλίες, λάθη πολλά και επαναλαμβανόμενα, ευκαιρίες πολυάριθμες και χαμένες. Και πάντοτε ένας φόβος να κλείνει το δρόμο. Ποτέ δεν κατάλαβα γιατί δεν ξεκίνησε η αληθινή μου ζωή. Από τότε η νοσταλγία δικαιώνει το ανέφικτο 24 φορές τη μέρα. Νυχτώνει αργά και η ώρα δεν περνάει να πέσω να κοιμηθώ. Νυχτώνει αργά και η ώρα πάλι θα περάσει να πέσω να μην πονώ. The invisible hand becomes a fist, and it's written about this case of Emmett Till in the United States around 60 years ago. When the invisible hand becomes a fist. How could she imagine, rest on all counts, Caroline Bryan Doham, when she ruthlessly lied under oath in court, that these cowardice of hers would soon fuel the great movement for black rights, and after such bloodshed, their final vindication? How could poor Caroline conceive the irony fate held for her? It doesn't matter whether she admitted. It suffices that she was alive when her name was blackened. Life treats people like that. We owe eternal gratitude to an inhuman act. There is no greater misery for hatred. One more? Next poem is called Outsider, and it's written for all poets around the world. I have never been homeless, never below the poverty line, not even close. never pushed to the violence of the degraded suburbs. I was never in the wrong place at the wrong time, never in trouble with no choice or desperate. And I paid for my mistakes what I owned, never more. I was not marginalized, thrown to the bottom of part of devilish minority, never left hanging, never hunted or excluded. I was never registered as offender, never recruited for a position of power or influence or and hire a wealthy scion. I was never part of a circle, a company or an academy. I didn't exchange awards, promotions or a seat in some committee. I never found myself in the wrong bed. I was never shortlisted. I didn't buy or sell. I didn't eat so as not to be eaten. This is why I became a poet. So I would never have the excuse that I didn't know better. So I would never have, I would have peace when I blast. But I have been a desert island for love fighters, a forgotten wave in the calm of youthful weather, a castaway on a waterless couch, a cut tree for an unread library, a glass accompanied by lips and hands, a sky elusive of colors, a feast caught in illegal nocturnal nets, a bird chased from a burned forest, a frozen look in front of pain's projectors, rhyming only when a free step was needed, untraceable by statistics and unexplored by polls, a common denominator and an uncommitted numerator, shunning the threats of authority and the offers of violence. This is why I became a poet, for your heart to defend it.
One more like this.
One more like this? I wanted a love poem, but it's okay. Can I read a love poem?
Yes.
A short one or a big one?
Anyone, anything. no
Anyone.
problem.
This is a love poem and it's called I Love You Because I Want to. I want to break my heart in 1,000 small stones and stone your fears. I want to imitate spring to become that good. I love you because I want to. I'm helpless when you fly away like a bird frightened by a shot. And I sing, and I don't stop until you find me. Starlight announces memory. Sunlight designates the full stop of death. Love looks for allies in every place and land. Blood becomes a witness for knowledge. And I reckon your body is one with music, equal to flowering boughs, and I enjoy your right to be a woman. What I thirst to tell you can be touched. Besides, you took my lips in from coincidences, my dreams in one look. You enriched my silence with and I kept my hearing only for your sirens, my taste only for your persimmons, my boat only for your Ithaca. I love you because I want to, because the night rhymes with your skin, because whenever I need your words, I find the start line. Because I like growing up with you, without the deeds, the taxes and half measures, even if all of society is against me. I love you because I want to. The rest is gravity. My tears hurt our joy. It's time to take responsibility. This is the only demand of our childhood. Thanks to love, we deserve a place in this rotation. Something changed. Something moved inside me. The invisible world governs now my life. If this world means anything, it means this will of mine to love you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christos, for this wonderful poems. Now I invite Mustansir Dalvi, who is a well-known poet, translator and editor. He has 3 books of poems. Brouhahas of Cock appeared in 2013, Cosmopolitician in 18, and Walk. His poems are widely anthologized, and his translations are also quite widely anthologized. His a translation of Muhammad Iqbal's influential Shikwa and Jawabi Shikwa from Urdu as taking issue, and Allah's answer has been described as insolent and heretical. Uh, he is also editor of Man Without a Navel, collection of new and selected translations of Hemant Dute's poems from Marathi. He is from Bombay and he teaches architecture. So I invite Mustan sir.
I would like to begin, of course, by expressing my gratitude, thanks, and eternal friendship to Smriti and Hemant Dipte, without whom I think I might not have had a published poetry career at all. So I am very, very grateful for that. As far as the poems that I'm going to read today, I must acknowledge the absolutely stirring lecture given by Ashokji this morning, and I will choose poems that in some form or the other resonate with some of the ideas that were mentioned by you. So I begin this poem on the death of language, because that was one of the themes that was talked about, and the language in this case is called Tamazit. Tamazit is a language of the community that were formerly called the Berbers, who are now in very dwindling numbers all over North Africa, and their language is near extinction. So this is a poem called Tamazit. Sand is no longer captured by the lithum covering our faces. The cloth remains unsullied as if never used. We wander the Maghreb, speak, and are misunderstood in tongues other than our own. Our mouths forever dry. What would it be like if I spoke only to myself? What could I say? What sense would I make? My mind empties like one half of an hourglass, dripping obstinately into the other, that is the Sahara. My throat is serrated with desire. I want to tell you of the Fezan, of its wadis, of its waters sweet as dates, of the tattoos that make our women. You meet me halfway in your voice. Every greeting, every civility mediated by the monoglossia of your shrunken world. This is a poem called Brother. I will not die in my bed of old age. Neither will you. I will die in a detention center. You will die a refugee of climate change. I will be dishoused by you. You will be dishoused despite yourself. I will die because of your bigotry. You will die because of your hubris. You could have stopped my death. You could have stopped yours. I will die swiftly, your final solution. You will linger enough to experience regret to its fullest. You're probably reading this now. I am gone. No one will read you when you are. This poem is called How to Bring Down a Dome. How to bring down a dome. Should the nation want to know, there's not much you can do to a dome once it is up. It can transcend eons with compressive strength, even with 1,000 devils dancing together on its crown. It's the base, like the heel of Achilles, that can be compromised. The base where hoop stresses are contained by chains that bind. Break what holds it together, and the dome does. what it always wanted to do, break. Break nation and watch how the dome deflates like the breast of a mother famished in a country without love. Okay. I think one of the notions, one of the ideas that was mentioned in the morning in the lecture was the idea of subversion, of poets being naturally subversive. So perhaps I can read this, if you will indulge me. This is a poem written in Hindi, and this was written on the occasion of Hindi Divas this year. The name of this poem is माँ की भाषा. आज जब मैं काम पे पहुंचा तो मेरे को बोला कि आज हिंदी दिवस है. तो मेरे को बहुत खुशी हुई और मैं सबको हैप्पी हिंदी दिवस विश करने लगा. सब लोग मेरे को ऐसे देखने लगे जैसे मैं अलीबाग से आया है. हिंदी बोल साले. तो मैं और क्या बोल रहा था. अभी तो मेरे को मेरी माँ की भाषा सिखाएगा. मैं क्या मद्रासी बोल रहा था. तू मेरे को हिंदी सिखाएगा तो मैं तेरे कान के नीचू बजाए. आजादी सबको मांगता है. तू तेरी बोल, मैं मेरी बोलेगा. Thank you so much.